All right, let's dive right into this explainer and, honestly, let's immediately shatter a really comforting illusion. You know the one. The idea that the absolute best product or the most brilliant team is just naturally destined to win. We all kind of want to believe that genius naturally rises to the top, right? But today, we're unpacking why that old school thinking is actually actively holding brilliant founders back.
See? We've built this entire business culture that is completely obsessed with the idea of readiness. Think about it for a second. We're taught to wait until we have the complete team, to relentlessly polish that pitch deck, to wait for the exact right moment in the market, or hold out for that massive funding round that'll finally make our dream feel real. We put all these massive hurdles in front of ourselves. But what actually beats all of that preparation?
Speed. It is, quite simply, speed. The absolute biggest asset you have at your disposal right this very second, it isn't your professional network. It's not your super complex tech stack. It's not even your perfectly rehearsed pitch. It is your velocity. It's moving faster than everyone else who's still just sitting around polishing their ideas.
So let's hit our first core concept, the myth of readiness.
In the old reality, you literally needed an army. You needed huge marketing departments, massive capital just to get off the ground. But look at the new reality. Today, powerful AI tools cost less than a monthly gym membership. This unprecedented access allows tiny teams to build, ship, and sell worldwide without any of that traditional overhead. The barrier to entry hasn't just lowered, it has practically vanished.
2. Just 1 or 2 people. That is the magic number right now. A 2-person team and a digital tool that costs less than buying a pizza. That is the entire formula for winning in the modern startup ecosystem. We like to pretend it needs to be way more complicated because, well, complexity feels safe, doesn't it? But the truth? 2 people moving fast can completely disrupt an entire industry before the big players even finish their morning stand-up meeting.
So the crucial takeaway here is that victory no longer goes to the most talented founder in the room. The crown goes to the fastest one. It goes to the person who actually has a minimum viable product out there in the wild before the others have even finished drafting a business plan. It goes to the founder who earned their first euro before they even thought about asking for their first massive investment. Speed isn't just a strategy anymore, it's your new unfair advantage.
Which brings us to Section 2. Perfectionism is just fear.
Now, to be completely clear, nobody is telling you to build garbage. Low-quality products will still fail. That's a fundamental rule of the market, and that hasn't changed. But we really have to face a harsh truth here. Perfectionism is just fear with better branding. We absolutely love calling ourselves perfectionists because it sounds like we just have incredibly high standards, right? It sounds noble. But waiting for perfect isn't about quality control. It's honestly just a much slower, much more comfortable way to fail. It protects our egos from immediate feedback.
You really have to ask yourself this deeply uncomfortable question. How many truly good, world-changing ideas literally died right there in the preparation stage? How many founders spent 6 grueling months endlessly refining this beautiful 50-page pitch deck, while a hungry competitor spent just 6 days building the actual thing and stealing their market share? Seriously, the startup graveyard is absolutely packed with pristine pitch decks for products that never even existed.
This requires a totally new mindset. We need to stop treating MVP, your minimum viable product, like it's an excuse for a bad product or some kind of dirty word. Going to market messy and fast isn't embarrassing. It's the actual strategy. It is exactly how you learn what the market actually wants, rather than what you just assume they want.
All right, part 3, the action plan. Let's get into how we actually do this.
Here is the exact execution playbook derived directly from our source material. Step 1, build it in a single day. Identify one specific problem and offer one specific solution. That is totally enough to start. Step 2, chase revenue way before you chase investors. And Step 3, set a hard, unbreakable 1-month deadline to show the market something real. This incredibly tight time frame forces you to strip away all the fluff and focus purely on the actual value.
Remember, earning that first single euro means infinitely more than taking your first fancy investor meeting. Why? Because proof of revenue is literally the only pitch that cannot be argued with. You can debate projections all day. You can argue over market size on a spreadsheet. But you absolutely cannot argue with a customer actually pulling out their credit card and paying for what you built. That first euro validates your entire existence.
And let's be super strict about what that 1-month limit actually means. It is not a clever landing page collecting emails. It's not a hype-building waitlist. No, it must be a functioning product that real people can actually use, and most importantly, something that someone actually paid for. That's the true test of your speed and your value. If you can't get someone to pay for it in a month, well, you're either building the wrong thing or you're just building it way too slowly.
You know, even the author of our source material admits a pretty hard truth about their own process. The instinct to wait until something is fully ready before sharing it, whether it's a product, a newsletter, or even an explainer like this, isn't about maintaining high professional standards. It's simply avoidance. It's just the fear of being judged. Pushing through that fear and putting your work out there before it feels ready is a practice. It's a muscle you have to intentionally build every single day.
So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. The fast version of success, the one where you build, ship, and learn at lightning speed, is fully available to you right now, today. Most people simply won't choose it because, well, it's uncomfortable. So what's it going to be? Are you going to share your messy idea and start winning? Or are you going to let your brilliant concept quietly die in the preparation stage? The choice and the velocity is entirely yours.